Alright guys, we got a little tips and tricks video for you today. These are some more advanced tips for Farming Simulator. Not necessarily beginner tips, but obviously for beginner these still help you out. So the first tip I have here is that you can actually use this mini map, this rounded mini map, to help line up your tractor straight. So as you can see, as I'm turning, that number is increasing or decreasing on the far left. Those coordinates, but what you can do is you can use that to line up. So if I know I'm at 270.5 and I go straight, that's on a line. Now if I were to come back here and say start the next row, what you want to do is make sure that you're at 275.5 again. Don't get stuck here. Okay, and you'll know you're perfectly straight with that. So as you can see, you line that up perfectly. 275.5, so I'm exactly in line with that other line that I had. So if I were to go straight from here, it would be in a direct straight line with that other line, which is great for plowing, it's great for harvesting, great for fertilizing, that sort of thing. So just a little tip that can help you out when plowing, because you know there's not always good guidelines for that, and especially if you're on a New Frontiers map or whatever and need to get a perfectly straight line, that's how you do it. Have here is to utilize buying and selling land to its fullest potential. So what I mean by that, basically what I mean is you can harvest and sell the land back for the same price. So if you were to harvest this field, you could sell it. You could buy the field for 179,000, and then you could sell it for 179,000 after you harvest. Right? You're not going to lose any money. You can let the AI do all the work, and you could just buy and sell the harvested fields for no loss. The other aspect of this is with woodworking or wood cutting. So I own this field, right? You can see I'm able to cut this wood all I want, right? I can cut it if I want to. Nothing too fancy. If you were to cut down all the trees here, you can still sell them if you sell the field. So you can't cut them, but you can sell them. So if I sell this land, I'm no longer able to cut this wood, right? It's going to give me an error. However, you can still interact with it, right? I still have it picked up, and you're still able to go sell it. So you could cut down every tree, right, with the chainsaw, process them into manageable chunks because you can't recut them, so they're going to be stuck in whatever shape they have. And then you could sell the land and then buy the equipment to pick it up. So you could kind of split your money that way, right? It's kind of a way to optimize it if you're doing woodworking or logging, because logging is pretty expensive to get into to get the good equipment. Instead of buying the cheap, crappy equipment, you could buy half the expensive equipment, harvest a whole field, and then or cut it down and trim it, and then you could sell the field, sell the equipment, buy the pickup, and by then you should have enough money to buy the good stuff for real. Now the next tip I have here has to do with contracts, and it's that deadwood contracts are low-key really, really good. So especially if you have a chainsaw, all you have to do is cut these things down. So what you'll do is you'll get the deadwood contract. If you have a chainsaw, you're good to go. You don't need to lease the equipment, accept the contract, okay? Field 109, if I go into the mini map, I can fast travel there pretty quickly. If I can find it, 109, you go down to visit, okay? And then all you got to do is sprint over, and I got to cut down a couple trees. So you can see them right here. Here's a dead one right here, so I'm going to sprint to that. Okay, pull out the chainsaw. You're going to get pretty good at switching between if you do this. But, and just cut it down. Right, cut down the 5 to 10 trees that it is. Make $1,200. That's simple, right? Already 12% done with the contract. Easy money, right? So a quick $1,200. So if you're doing a 0 to hero run, great way to make money, and these things pump out, especially if you have any kind of speed up. It's just a free $1,000 every like 5-10 minutes. Might be the fast way to make money in the game, low-key. This next tip I have here has to do with fertilizer spreaders. Basically, the problem with these fertilizer spreaders is you can't really see where it starts, right? So you're kind of guessing. So what I like to do is find the spot where it's supposed to start. Okay, so like I think, oh, it's about here. Test it, get position. All right, so that looks about right. Is that about as far over as I can get? Yeah, so that looks like a good start spot. So now what you're going to want to do is go into the construction menu, and you're going to put a little marker of some kind. So if you just go down to sculpting and painting, just a dot of asphalt where you need to start. So we'll do one on the left of it, one on the right. So now I know, I'll make it a little bigger so it's a little easier to see. Now I know whenever I want to harvest this field, I just line up with these two little asphalt lines, right? or whenever I got to fertilize, you just line up these two little asphalt lines and start it, and you're good to go. No more guessing where the optimal start position is. So, yeah, like I said, just find that optimal start position and put a little marker with the construction. It's really handy, especially on these bigger fields where you're kind of guessing, and you could do it for each lane, so you don't have to worry about overlap, and then you just got to get straight, right? And then you're not overlapping either. So, super handy, super good to know. So the next step I have here is that contract equipment works on all contracts. So what do I mean by that? If we borrow items for the same contracts, so we got plowing contract. If I start them both, right, and borrow the equipment, I can use the equipment for both of them on the same field. It's super helpful if there's one really big one and they give you the big implement, and then there's a smaller one that gives you the small implement. You can just use the big implement for both, or you can just run both at the same time. You'll actually get it done much quicker, kind of increase your profit margin. Or even better, what you can do is you only have to lease equipment for one, right? So, but this one here, I will drive it over to the field that I got to go to, right? And it will work on both fields. So the reason why you want to do that, like I said, is you can optimize it. You could either buy both and get a field done twice as quick. If you have one big field, one small field, you can use it to use the big one on both, or you could do 3 plowing contracts and only lease equipment for one, use it all 3, and then collect the rewards. Just remember, don't cancel or collect until you're done, because as soon as you cancel or collect, the contract will be over and the equipment will disappear. So you can use contract equipment on multiple things. All right, guys, so the next tip I have here has to do with grass. You may not know this, but you are able to mow multiple times before you windrow and rake. So what do I mean by that? So as you can see, I'm harvesting right now. But if I were to let's just lower all the equipment here. All right, so I can mow it. We're on the first harvest still. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go sleep for a couple days. It's going to grow back, and you can mow it again. The reason why this is useful is because, as you guys know, you can't use the AI to bale. So you can mow it a couple times, and then windrow it into one single row. So if we sleep here, we'll sleep for like 3 days to let this grass regrow, and you'll see I can mow it again. It will stack up the grass, and you can multiply the amount you're harvesting in one go. So yes, the AI can't harvest it for you, but if you're picking up 3 loads of grass in one shot, you're going to be making more money per hour. So just get it through speed up a little bit here, and I will show you what I mean. But like I said, it's really useful. You will pump a bale out like every 10 feet if you do it enough times. But you do have to be a little careful not to do it too much, because if you do it too much, then you'll actually get stuck with the balers. So it's kind of a fine line between optimizing it. So I about 3 cuts is usually about the limit. You could technically go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before you windrow and plow, but like I said, you don't want that stack to get too high because the baler will get stuck. So now speed up's done here in a second. Let's hop back in this thing. Okay. And look at that. I am mowing it again. So I haven't harvested. I'm just mowing it right back where it was, and it's going to be twice as thick. You can mow it again. It'll be 3 times as thick, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, many times as you want. But like I said, you can mow and harvest the same field before. You can mow it multiple times before you windrow and harvest. All right, guys, this next tip has to do with making a quick buck. So if you go into the menu, into the used vehicle sales, and you were to buy it, I believe it works better with more expensive items and more discounted items, obviously. If you get too cheap of an item or too not broken enough of an item, you're not going to make any money doing this. So I can go into here. I can buy this tractor here for $366. Okay, so remember that number, $366. This harvester. Now, if I go to the harvester, what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to go into the repair it, and then sell it. So remember, $366. Okay, if I back up into this repair, you should be able to repair it. Okay, little thing here. Now you can repair it for $9,000. Not that expensive, right? Only 9 grand to repair it. Okay. You don't want to repaint. That's a really expensive repaint. But you can repair it. Okay. And now if we go into here, we could sell it for 376. So we can make a little bit of money off of that, right? Not a ton. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Kind of depends on how much you're buying and selling it for. So just for a little test here, if you were to repaint it as well, 119. Let's see how much we're in the hole. Quite a bit, but it is selling for 495. So 366. You know, plus, you know, you're making a quick buck. Okay, you're not making a ton of money doing that, but you're gonna make a couple grand. Takes all but a second. And like I said, remember guys, the more damaged it is, the better, right? You don't want to be buying this Challenger because you're not gonna make any money flipping that because the repair bill is the same, but you will make money flipping really expensive stuff. So just be a little careful, do some testing with it. But like I said, more damaged and bigger, the better. Next tip here has to do with forage harvesting and chaff. You're actually able to dump it directly onto the ground and then pick it up with the forage wagon later. This is useful if you don't like using AI or dragging trailers or whatever. And you could actually leave it out in the field and pick it up later as in another harvest if you really wanted to. So basically how you do this is if you hold L1, R1, and then unload here, whatever the equivalent is on PC, you hit unload here, and then you can just harvest away, and it'll drop it in a line straight down onto the ground. Like I said, then you can then pick it up with a baler, which is super nice, right? You could use a baler, pick it up, and then a bale wrapper would be really useful for this, or just a forage wagon, put it in a pit, however you want to do your silage, but it just kind of gives you another option to do that. So it's a quick tip for you. Now, my last tip for this video is that you should never be buying water, right? So if you just go to any body of water, the rivers don't work. You can refill your water tank just fine. This is for animals or for greenhouses. You could also place down, if you go into containers, all the way down towards the bottom, there's this water tank. You don't want to use this one. This one you have to pay for. The windmill you don't, which is nice because you can place wherever you want. The other thing you can do, right, you guys probably heard about this one before, but if you go into cultivation and then rice field, you can actually use a rice field, right? So we'll just make a little rice field here. Put in there, and then we'll finish that. You can actually use a rice field to fill it up as well. So if I drive into this rice field, and out here, let's turn it on, flood the rice field. Okay, we're gonna flood it. You'll have to go speed up for a second here, just to fill it up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably enough. Hop in here. Now you can actually fill it up straight from your rice field. That's free water. And now the reason why that's good is because you can put your greenhouses right next to this, or I guess you put this right next to your greenhouses. But like I said, you should never be paying for water. It's all over the map. You know, just go to a lake, make a rice field, or get a windmill. Not too expensive to get into, and then you're done paying for it. So just a couple quick little tips. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. All that fun stuff really helps me out. Leave a comment with your favorite tip of the day. And anyways, thanks for watching. Peace out.